wonder if Beyonce was playing this game when writing her new album, because this ain't Texas, ain't no Hold'em, this is Balatro. This fucking game. I knew from watching footage of Balatro that I was going to become obsessed. I mean, even while writing this script, I'm thinking about dropping everything, closing the blinds and having a session. I bloody knew it. That's why for some time I've been putting off purchasing the game. I have a life, I need to get shit done, and this game will rip hours away from you faster than a toupee in a hurricane. Gamers, indulge me. Let me just gush over this game before I even get to the fundamentals and why I'm so hooked. First of all, just think about the concept for a second. A deck builder with a deck of 52 playing cards. I mean, the deck is already a deck. How can you build a deck within a deck? But I'm telling you, right now, it's like nothing else. I mean, there are probably thousands of games you can play with a deck of cards, and then probably hundreds of variations you can play poker. I'm not certain on that, but you understand the point. And then for Balatro to feel like a completely new and exciting way to play poker is one of the greatest achievements in deck building tabletop games I've experienced. I love when something this innovative hits the genre. I mean, let's be real, it's not the most sexiest genre, deck building roguelike. I'm easily pleased, as I'm a sucker for this gameplay. Slay the Spire, Inscryption, Monster Train, and Dicey Dungeons, just to name a few. And as I'm writing this, a new game called Bingle Bingle, which has the very same aesthetic but themed around a roulette table. There could be a trend about to emerge. I'm going to call it now and name the subgenre of Balatro-like games. Also, I'm a huge Magic the Gathering fan, which doesn't help in the obsession over this. But back to my point here, which is yes, the genre isn't as beloved, but boy, when these types of games pop off, like the ones mentioned, they become all-timers. Huge influences on the indie scene. This game may not be your usual cup of tea, but believe me when I say it's worth your time just to check it out. You might be pleasantly surprised. Okay, there, I'm all gushed out. Well, kind of. Let's address the core game just for a second. Poker. Now, most people know how to play the game, but what if you're the population that don't know? Should it stop you from purchasing Balatro? I really don't think so. I mean, yeah, it's absolutely going to help. If you know poker, then you'll spend more time understanding and getting used to the other nuances and mechanics of the game. But if you don't, well, guess what? You are probably going to learn quick and or study up on it. And either way, Balatro will guide you through it. For example, you can choose cards, and before you play them, will tell you what it is, like a straight or a flush, etc. And you have a handy sorting out system where you can change from suits or highest to lowest. Really cool, I think, as we all organise our poker hands differently. You think that's cool? It's only one of many little details that make this game so fucking incredible. Let's touch on some others then. That sounds weird. Let's touch on some other details then. I won't go into many specifics because I couldn't even if I wanted to. As of writing this, I still have so many cards to unlock, but I'll touch on some features on a broader scope and how they make Balatro unique and different from poker, as you know. First, the progression and levels are simply grouped into what's called antes. There are 8 antes to beat to complete a run. What makes this so cool is you can shape your runs even from here. Let me explain. In an ante, there are 3 rounds. Each round is a blind. In poker speak, that's basically the starting amount you need to play a game. In Balatro, there is a small blind, a large blind, and a boss blind, each needing a specific score reached by a certain amount of hands. Every boss blind has a passive ability which you can see from the start and will help you decide what build to start creating. From here, what I really like was you can simply skip blinds, but not the boss for obvious reasons. If you decide to skip a blind, you will be rewarded kindly in a number of different ways. It's up to you though. The risk is being you won't earn money or the possibility of upgrading your deck. I found this very unique and a nice little spin on the roguelike building blocks. So that's your way or your path to progress. How do you beat these blinds and score within? It's actually as simple as it sounds. Each card you play has a chip score. Picture cards being highest, right down to the 2s equaling the lowest. Yep, 2 chips. Then, each hand played sets your multiplier off, a pair being the lowest right up to a straight flush, giving you an 8 times multiplier on your chip score. Within this, you have a chance to discard, only a certain amount of times, and you're limited to a certain amount of hands you need to play before you reach that blind score cap to move on. Complete this and earn some cash dollars for the store. Do this in a fast enough manner and gain more cash to spend as a bonus. Yep, cool. I've taught you Balatro in one paragraph. But believe me, talking about it is a bit more harder than actually playing this game. Pick it up for no more than 30 minutes and you'll be a pro. Talking about being a pro, all that stuff mentioned, that's just surface level shit. We're about to get to some interesting stuff. Just look up Balatro on YouTube and you'll see massive score combos popping off just in one hand. This is the most addictive part of Balatro that keeps you coming back for more and more. The X factor that these types of games have, the deck building quality and amount of combos you can potentially try run after run. This all basically happens after each blind in the store. It's where you can spend all of your earned cash in a number of ways, depending on your game style or build, or even the level of experimentation you want to do. Again, without ruining the surprises of each element, a brief overview I'll touch on. The beauty of this game, I think, revolves around the element of figuring out things as you go. I'll start with the Jokers. Now, Jokers are basically a passive ability you can purchase, which can alter things such as multipliers, scores on cards or suits, etc. You can only have 5 Jokers at any time. By the way, you can sell these cards at any time if you want to rearrange your build. Jokers are essentially what make this game extremely fun and random and exciting. Watching huge hands go off that fit perfectly with your Jokers and build style is pure chef's kiss satisfying. The most expensive items in the shop are usually the vouchers. These are a one-use effect which can change the run quite dramatically. And then there are boosters. Oh my god, boosters. So satisfying to physically open, whether you're a Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, or even sports card nerd, and yet just as satisfying digitally somehow. You will open a theme booster, and out of 5 cards, you get to choose what to keep. They can range from one-use cards in which you can choose to deploy at any time, like make 3 cards in your hand hearts, for instance. Then you can get cards that buff up your multipliers or buff up certain cards like all kings or the ace, spades, etc. I'm quite clearly mansplaining here. I think once you see for yourself, you'll understand just how nuanced and complex these combinations can get. So that's the game loop. What are my thoughts on some of the other aspects? Well, aesthetically, the game works well with its pixel graphics, and I love the color tones. I almost put it against a solitaire vibe, and even some Windows 95 nostalgia shit for me. If I can show my age right there. I love the music. It's got that cozy game feel, very retro. It just goes to show that you don't need millions of dollars and hundreds of employees and all the polish in the world to make a truly remarkable game. In fact, talking about employees, this is a one-man show. That's right, the developer, LocalThunk, is just one person. How insane is that? I would be incredibly proud of this quality of work. Truly, truly amazing, and thank you, LocalThunk. I really don't have too much more to say. I could point out that yes, daily challenges would be pretty cool. I think a ranking online could be a fun idea, especially when getting to that end game or you've planted hundreds of hours into it. I'm also certain there will be continuous updates and new jokers lined up for the future. I'll also mention that this game is absolutely built for handheld, so on the Switch or Steam Deck, it's extra risky if you want to lose even more hours of your day, and God forbid the day it arrives on mobile. I already spent enough time sitting on the toilet. So that's it. I hope I've inspired you to give this humble little title a go. I picked it up for like 20 Australian dollars. It's not even that expensive, and I believe it's going to be an all-timer in your list to play. It goes straight to the top of my list for Indie Game of the Year, and I really hope you feel the same way. Thanks for listening.